This March Madness bracket picks and futures edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and available in 40 states. Head to Cut.com, that's Kutt.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by SGPN's subscriber-only March Madness Bankroll Challenge. Free to enter and up to $2,000 in prizes. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/madness. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, NHL, college basketball, and more. Sign up today using promo code SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Oh, hello, March Madness. I'm wearing a bison to commemorate the win of the Colorado Buffaloes today. I'm sure that's confusing to most.
Joining us in studio to talk all things college basketball, Colby Dant, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
I got the itch today watching these games, having cocktails here. Shout out to the Hookup Rose City Distilling. Oh, Dean. Shout out to Dean and his brother hooking us up. And if you get to, get a cocktail. Get a cocktail, man.
I'm enjoying a delicious cocktail. Shout out to Rose City. Great distillery. Joining us, a man who loves enjoying some distilling, Moneyline Mac. What's happening, Mac?
Absolutely. I love it. And shout out to Dean. And glad to be on the right side of the table with Team Ryan.
Oh wow, they're high-fiving over there.
Bros?
They're celebrating. We got a great episode. Oh, and of course, shout out to Noah B over there rocking his. What do you got there? Florida Gators.
I got the Florida Gators script shirt. I mean, I had to wait 2 days to be able to talk about the team that I'm going to claim this March. So we get to pick their first game here, and I might have some fun stored in the bracket here.
Oh wow!
Ooh, stay tuned for that. We got so much to get to, Ryan. Of course, first off, got to shout out our Uber driver. He picks us up at the Circa to come over here to the Wynn Studios to do this episode you're listening to now, and immediately just starts bitching about an 18 parlay that he almost hit. And then before that, he had another 18 parlay, Ryan. And before that, you won't believe this. This guy had a 15-team parlay. One team screwed him. He had $250,000 ready to go, and the Broncos or the Raiders scored 2 late touchdowns. This guy was just bad beat after bad beat after bad beat. I had to get out of the Uber when we got there to hop on this radio call, and so I'm like trying to get up to the room to get to the call in time, and I keep looking back at Colby and Ryan, and the Uber driver is still there chatting their ears off about, I assume, more bad beats. What else did he say?
It was a Deion Sanders play 20 years ago that cost him a lot. And this guy was from Italy.
Greece.
Greece. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Oh, wow.
Well, I was nodding off a little bit. But Deion Sanders as a running back, he said.
Colby
the running back, Deion Sanders.
He was described. He goes the kid from Colorado who did this with his feet, and he was just like doing like the high step.
And I'm like, this is 20 years ago, and I was like, Cordell Stewart, Rashawn Salam. What are we talking about here? Now,
I will say though, as I was trying to keep the conversation going, and I gave him the whole I got a bad beat story. Remember this time that Mac Jones stole all this money from me? And he goes, "You think that's bad? I got 10 worse than that." He's like, one time I had an 8-team, a 6-team, a 10-team, a 12-team. Long story short, I would have won $250,000, but Barcelona only scored 1 goal, and that piece of shit Lewandowski scored 3 goals the next week.
Hey, he was great though.
And I didn't have the heart to tell my Scott Tolzien story because I still did win $200,000, but I thought he would enjoy the idea of me getting screwed out of $800,000 because of that bass bastard, Scott Tolzien. And he would easily qualify as this week's edition of Real Men of Degen, but rarely do we ever talk baseball in March, but we had to make exception for this week's edition of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens.
Real Men of Degens.
We salute you.
Shohei Ohtani. Probably mispronounced that, but bad times for his interpreter. Now, supposedly, if you believe Shohei's story, his interpreter stole $4.5 million from him to pay off some gambling debts. Now, the story is changing a bunch because apparently Ohtani wired the money directly to this bookmaker because he didn't trust the interpreter and was worried he would gamble it away if he gave it to him directly. That's just a great friend, Ohtani. Some controversially are saying that maybe the interpreter is taking a fall for old Shohei Ohtani. But either way, hats off to you, Ohtani. Losing $4.5 million to
He just signed. What his contract's like? What did he just sign?
Well, he only gets
a
paid
drop in the
$2
bucket.
million a year, though. It's
That is
all
true.
deferred.
That
money.
is true. That is a good point.
$680 million in deferral. So we'll see how much the bookie gets of that.
And so just so everyone's clear, it's a genius move.
Oh yeah.
Defer all the money until you're not living in California anymore.
And that way the Dodgers can stack this team, win a couple of World Series with you.
The old franchise tax board, and shout out to all tax and government agencies. Love you guys, doing great work. I don't want to be on any list. Apparently, they are going after him for this deferral thing because they go, no, this is bull. You got to pay taxes on this now. So tough break for.
Shout out to Ippei. I mean, he was a high school baseball teammate of Shohei. They were really good friends, Sean. That just, he's taking the fall for. I mean, sorry. I'm hoping that he recovers from his gambling addiction.
His interpreter, yes.
Did you hear that he addressed the team, the Dodgers team?
The interpreter?
Yes.
Well, here's what I would say. As someone who gambles a lot, and as someone who hangs out with people who gamble a lot, if I found out Sean had $4.5 million in gambling debt and was like, oh, I had no idea. I would hope that someone would say, bullshit. Yeah. Not only that, but they already fucked up, and maybe they'll blame Lost in Translation. But the original statement from a rep of Ohtani was that Ohtani felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And paid off this debt. But he knew about the gambling.
I don't think they got their story straight before they started talking to the press. And just to reiterate, for legal purposes, Noah Beanick is the official show interpreter. So if there's any issues, you can head over to Noah B.
I did see the internet made some good jokes about if only Pete Rose had an interpreter.
All right, let's get to it. We got a bunch of games to pick. We got our big bracket reveal. We got some March Madness futures, of course. You get down on a ton of March Madness gambling over at cut.com. Use the promo code SGPN. Get a 10% deposit bonus. You can bet on whether a team will make it to the round of 32, although, since the first four already started, I think that, maybe you can still get in on it. But the first half unders, that's a fun thing we're tracking right now. It's 2-2, and you can come up with your own custom bets. Of course, you're watching with your buddies. You don't want to lay a ton of juice to pay a ton of vig. Just list your first half unders or overs over on cut.com. Save the juice and win money head to head. The best way to bet, go to cut.com, promo code SGPN. And of course, get in on our March Madness pool contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/madness, up to $2,000. $2,000 up for grabs. Subscribers only. Good times. Get in over there. And last but not least, Merch Madness, 15% off everything. I'm rocking the Degen University shirt. This thing is fire. Love it. Kramer, let's do it. Promo code Madness, 15% off everything.
And by the way, I did have an encounter I wanted to share. We were down at the circuit today getting in. I was building on my girth and just, honestly, one of the most impressive stacks of tickets I've ever had in my life, and it doesn't even include my digital tickets. I did want to give everyone a quick, this is unrelated to my story, but I did, at Kramer Cetric if you want to follow me, but you probably can't see it very well, but what this is this is the answer key. There's handwritten pen all over this.
I like the idea of anthropologists or like archaeologists years from now uncovering this document that's like buried in the sand in the desert somewhere in the thousands of years ago. They wrote this on these paper tablets to cheer for their sporting
plus points.
Cheering for their different. They used to drink mead and watch their athletes go head to head and wager their digital pieces of currency called dollars.
We hypothesized they used heads as the ball.
Yeah, like they're just completely making it all up.
Anyway, so I'm in line and I'm next to some guys and I can tell that two buddies are trying to coach the other guy into betting, like teaching him what to say. And I'm like, first time? He's like, yeah. I go, what do you like? He goes, and he listed off a 16 parlay, and I was on the other side of everything. And all I can think of,
feels so good.
All I could think of was, oh my God, this feels great.
Let me guess, all the dogs.
Sanford was in there.
Oh, wow.
James Madison was in there.
Yep.
Don't worry. I think he was laying the points with Purdue or one of the one
That
seeds.
sounds like my bracket.
Anyway, all right, let's talk. We broke down the 28 games so far. We left out the first 4 leftovers, so we're going to hit on those real quick. We're heading to tomorrow, Thursday, March 21st. Charlotte, North Carolina, the 1 seed in the West. North Carolina taking on Wagner, the 16 seed, and once again looking scrappy, even though they're playing 7 or 8 players. North Carolina laying 25, minus 6,500 on the money line. I believe Fezzik does not think this is a good price, so definitely don't lay the 6,500. Wagner to 20 to 1, 133.5 is the total. First half under 63.5. I don't. It's a 116 seed. What are we going to do?
I think it's too many points. I mean, if you look at what Carolina did, like beat Radford by 16, beat Lehigh by 22. Sorry, Sean. Beat Riverside by 25. I just think it's. I know that the numbers and St. Peter's. Not St. Peter's. Wagner's offense is just horrible, but I think you got to take it. The fact they even got the play-in game, I think you like too. I'm not super excited to run to the window for this one, but I'll take Wagner plus the points.
This Wagner team is a fun watch. I'm not rooting against them. I don't. Probably not live here
guys.
on the 20 to 1, but I had that nugget when we were talking 1 seeds last time. When you start talking 20 plus against the spread, it's just tough to cover. In fact, just big spreads in general have been rough. Anything over like 17 points seems to be diminishing returns, especially with how the tournament's shaking out, and just in general, anything over 17 plus, I'm going to be looking for the dog unless I got a good angle.
And I think if you also look at the fact that Virginia finished 3rd in the ACC, probably shouldn't have been over Seton Hall or Providence. And
not a great start for the ACC.
They lost by 21 to Seton Hall. They lost by 20. Actually, they lost by 34 to Providence.
First round favorites of 13.5 more. Points or more have only enjoyed 1 winning ATS season. That was in 2022. Since over this stretch, 39-50-1 ATS. So last year they were 2-5 with Arizona and Purdue losing outright. I'm just going to keep taking the dogs here with how crazy high this number is. Mac, what are you doing?
I'm going to lay it. I think the Wagner, the vacuum company, it's been a good run, a bunch of upsets, but I think Carolina here, they're coming off the loss to NC State where they were embarrassed. I'll lay it. They blow it open late, win by 30.
They have 7 players, Sean. Remember those games where we only had 6 or 7 players in the rec squad? And we went against a really good team, and we all got really tired quickly. And we maybe hung in there for a little bit. But next thing you know, it's a 35-point game.
The 7-player handicap has been haunting them with the first 4 game. Yeah, they're from Staten Island, Ryan. They suck in CO2 left and right since they're born.
It's like an elevation advantage. Their air quality is so poor when they leave.
It's like going from elevation and going down. What are you doing, Ryan?
I'm laying the points, obviously.
Okay, laying 25.
I'm on Team Ryan.
Noah, rapid fire. What do you like?
You kind of have to pick and choose which teams you want to take the momentum with coming out of the first 4 here. Cocktail Napkin agrees with Sean here. It likes the trends, and the Cocktail Napkin has Wagner plus 19.5. The offensive stats are ugly. Don't look at them, but the last 4 games they've won 4 in a row, and they've looked really good offensively. So
let's go.
It's hard to determine how they're going to show up, but I'll take the Seahawks.
I have a feeling the cocktail napkin often likes the 16 seed in the 116 matchup. That's generally how the numbers work. 3:50 p.m. on the West Coast Thursday. Charlotte, North Carolina for another matchup here. This time in the Midwest region, 7-10 matchup between Colorado State from the Mountain West and Texas from the Pac-12 Big 12. Sorry,
get him out of here.
Texas,
SEC.
horns down.
Oh, Mac, you're really going to be torn here. Are you going to keep now? Do you also like SEC because they support everyone in their conference, and you do that for the Big 12, or what are we doing here?
No. We actually
draw the line somewhere.
We actually represent the people. The SEC's corrupt, just like the Big Ten. Horns down.
Horns down.
Colorado State, baby, all day.
They're a fun team. And we'll talk about it more when we talk bracket, but I mean, don't let the Rams get hot, Ryan.
Texas is laying 2.5, minus 140 on the money line. $1.20 for Colorado State. 144 is the total. First half under 67.5. You know, when looking at this part of the bracket, it's like, oh, well, one of these teams has to get through to the Sweet 16s, and we love the Mountain West. I do think I'm probably going to regret fading Max Asmith here. Because every time I fade him, he just has some sort of superhuman performance.
I mean, he is a fun guy to watch.
But I got to take our guys. Isaiah Stevens, the Rams, love Fort Collins, love Colorado. I'm wearing it does say Catalina on it, but it is a buffalo, so or a bison. I apologize. So I'm on the Rams. What about you, Colby?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact you got the game out of the way. And Texas, has all the pressure in the world. Rodney Terry probably should have got to the national championship game a year ago. And, he had a great year. They extended him, but I think this is a really talented team. They've kind of underachieved. All the pressure is on Texas in this matchup. Colorado State already got the win out of there. They got the best player on the court in Isaiah Stevens. I also think that just the way Colorado State plays defense could be, they chart better than Texas, surprisingly. And 38th ranked offense. You saw Colorado State win against was that at Creighton, I believe, earlier in this year. I think that it shows they can go up against top teams and get that dub. Give me the Rams.
Mac?
Yeah, I like Colorado State. Texas will be the only Big 12 team I don't pick. No bias, but
Oklahoma didn't make it.
Yeah, exactly. So OU down. But I love the guard matchup here. You got Stevens versus A-Smith, but we're getting the better coach. I think Stevens is a little bit better than Max A-Smith. And Colorado State got the game out of the way. And
I think the NBA scouts would agree with you.
Yeah, and also the Mountain West prepared Colorado State for this game, in my opinion. And it's a look ahead for Texas because they're thinking about Rick Barnes on deck potentially, their former coach. So give me the Rams.
I like that angle. Sean?
Yeah, no, Colorado State all day.
System play.
No, they've been a fun team. They've had some close losses where I felt bummed, but I've been auto playing this Rams team for a long time. Colby mentioned what I liked out of. I mean, they played really good defense against Virginia. I know it's no one's going to give any credit for them because it is Virginia, but that was like a historically low offensive performance from a Tony Bennett team. That I get it, they're no juggernaut, but. I mean, they almost held them to like 40 points in a tournament game. That to me is pretty crazy. I think defense will win the day, and I like what I saw out of their offense. No, what do you got?
Basically, Colby and Mac took most of the handicap that I wanted to say, so I'm going to retweet what they said. Also going to add what Mac has been talking about for the last month, and he didn't mention it here, so I'll do it for him. He mentioned that Mountain West has kind of built Colorado State up for this. A reason why a lot of people like to fade Mountain West here in the March is because a lot of the home environments are really, really good. Well, that kind of hurt Colorado State going on the road, losing so many games. This time around, this team's going to benefit when they get out of conference play. This is a team that I've making a little bit of a run.
And all of Charlotte is going to be rooting for Colorado State. That's going to be a Carolina crowd.
And Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm on the Rams.
Yeah, and Tennessee. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I love this. I love that we're hopefully we haven't done something horrible and mushed our sweet, sweet Colorado State Rams. Worth noting also, Sean, and maybe you don't know this, but Rodney Terry is a Cowboys fan. So horns down. Colorado, Florida, the 10-7 matchup in the South region. We're heading to Indianapolis, Indiana. Wonder if they have time for some shrimp cocktail. Friday, 1:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Florida laying 1.5, minus 125 on the money line. Colorado plus 105. 160.5 is the total. I didn't see the first halves open yet. I'm projecting it at 76. Boy, I think I was hoping Colorado would win that play-in game so I could parlay it into that mechanical style that they call and take them again here. I'm surprised the line wasn't a touch bigger, but as Colby's going to probably get to here, we'll ride Simpson for one more game here.
Yes, OJ's son is a stud, and I'm on the Buffs. I think the Buffs are a team that we're going to see one of these play-in teams go deep, and I think it's maybe two, maybe it's both Colorados, but I just watched them the past 2 weeks, and I'm like, it's starting to turn into the team I thought they could be. I think they're super dangerous. I think their roster is Final Four good, and to me, I can't. The fact that they've only lost one in the final 6 or 7 games. I know Florida was hot, made the SEC championship, but I just think Colorado has a better roster than Florida.
Yeah,
and I think give me the better roster. Yes, I have questions about Todd Boyle, but I also have questions about Todd Golden.
Wait, is it Todd or Tad?
Tad Boyle. I was trying to say Todd Golden.
Todd Golden is a hack.
Well, I said just watching Tad, he looks like such a Tad.
Colorado's got a much better defense. You saw what they did today, and I think KJ Simpson's the difference in the game. I think that guy is just very, very underrated in terms of college basketball. And, give me the Buffs to get it done.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we watched it at the end of the game. There was a bunch of one-on-ones when we were white-knuckling that cover late. There was a bunch of 50-50 balls. Yeah, they got a couple breaks, but they hit their free throws. They hit the front end of those one-on-ones. They're 78.1% from the line. How can you fade them in a close game with this kind of momentum, with their, effective field goal percentage, 20th in the nation? Buffs ride. Let's go.
Mac?
Yeah, so either way, I was going to take whoever won this game because I love Boise too, and I thought that was a hell of a win for Colorado because I didn't think Colorado played that well tonight. They have veterans.
Defensively, they played good, though.
Yeah. But I felt like offensively they were sloppy, they were tight because all the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be a really good team. Simpson, De Silva, Lampkin. I think they got it out of the way. They're going to play free, and I agree. I think they have a better roster than Florida, and Florida's coming off 4 games in 4 nights or 4 days, whatever you want to say. They had an injury. I love the Buffs here. Let's go.
Noah,
he's wearing a Gator shirt.
Yeah, so here we go. Get along, just buckle up for the ride. A lot of people are mentioning the Micah Hanlogton injury, and rightfully so. That was a brutal injury, and I think they lost the game. They lost all momentum when that happened. Team morale was low. They're going to go out and they're going to make a little bit of run for him. He was a rotation player, though. Like a lot of people are coming out and saying like this guy meant so much to them. They still got Alex Condon. They still got Tyrese Samuel up there in the front court. They got plenty of depth up there. I'm not worried about that. And also the strength of this Colorado team is the guard play. Well, Florida has just as good, maybe even better guards.
No.
Walter Clayton, Zion Poland, Will Richard, and Riley Kugel,
KJ
the fourth
Simpson's
one.
better than all of them.
Riley
Better than all
Kugel is
of them.
the NBA prospect, and he's the 4th best guard on this team for the Gators. I love Florida's draw here in the tournament. I got them making a run. Let's go,
Kramer.
Gators.
I feel like I have not been impressed with Florida all year. So if anything, it's a bit of an enigma. But kind of like what Max said, what are the commandments, Sean? The commandments tell us that one of these play-in teams is going to win a game and advance to the round of 32. And for my money, it's one of these Colorado teams.
Yes.
And so not just spraying the board, but I certainly like Colorado more than Florida. But again, I could be one of those teams I'm just blind on.
The last thing I'll add, I'm sorry if I interrupted you, Kramer. All year long, I was voicing my just kind of concern around Florida because they weren't able to play on the road, away from home. They dominated at the O-Dome. However, that's been a real concern. Going on that little bit of a run in the SEC tournament game, you can blame the loss on the injury. I really liked what I saw from Florida on the neutral floor.
Hopefully, Noah has a chance to take a lady to the O-Dome later in the trip.
Well, there were some the show before us had some
like some kids got to call their dorm room the O-Dome.
The O-Dome. Welcome to the O-Dome.
Oh my God!
There was a show recording in the studio before us. I can't recall the name or who was involved, but there were some ladies that walked by. The people recording said, "Hey, come on into the back area." They came in. They thought I was the one who let them in. It was another person on the team here that had let them in, and they were like trying to give me their number to pass it along to the talent that may or may not have waved them in. And I was thinking in the back of my head, it would have been the ultimate move to take these ladies' numbers and then go like, Noah, there were some super fans coming by. They really dig college baseball picks. But ultimately, I was just like, I really had no idea what was going on. We got it sorted. So
in the time of concern, I really appreciate you thinking of me, Sean.
Well, I did.
They did seem to be really into Clemson baseball, so it just seemed like a match. All right, one more game to get to. Grambling, who
chicks dig the long ball, is what I put together.
And the O-Dome.
The O-Dome. Those chicks wanted to go to the O-Dome, 100%.
Grambling, who, by the way, I mean, what a choke job by Montana State.
Unbelievable.
100%. Colby, make a note for next year. We're out on the Big Sky, or at least we're out on Montana State. We're all Grizzlies fans going forward. Grambling now heads to take on Purdue and Indy. Tough matchup here. 425 on the West Coast, 16-1 in the Midwest. Purdue laying 26, minus 20,000 on the money line.
Fezzik all over it.
No, well, Fezzik likes this up to minus 30,000.
Yeah,
so
great.
this is like getting eggs for 50% off. Grambling plus 3,500, 135.5 is the total. Projecting the first half under to be 65. I mean, again, I know that we have a Purdue stand in the room, but I kind of do think this is the kind of game that Purdue can do fine with, right? It's not like they've had trouble dealing with a completely outmatched athletically team in the past who had zero chance to win the game. So, Colby, any chance for Grambling to get the upset here? First tournament win ever, by the way.
Shout out to that.
Do they count the play-in games?
They should count
Okay.
it. Because let me tell you, these schools have been ripped off for a long time. All right, a long time they've been ripped off. Do a deep dive on that. I think the state of Tennessee owes Tennessee State about $300 million. Yeah. Shout out to Grambling getting their first win. I hope they can build on that momentum. It's a bad spot for them, though. Really bad spot for them, especially considering the way they lost a year, the way that, Purdue's season went a year ago. It's in Indianapolis there, whatever they're calling that stadium now. And I think it's just you got to lay the points here. I mean, I just think that they're going to get this one out of the way. Shout out to the Grambling season, but they're going to get drilled by 30 or 40, I think.
It's tough because I keep liking these number one, fading number one seeds when they're laying kind of these historically big numbers. But there is a sweet spot when it comes to the number one seeds, and it's that 19 to 25. 19 to 25 is the bad spot, but if it's like short of 13 or short of 19, like lower, that's good. But even I think at the point of no return after 25, and this Grambling team just didn't pass the eye test in any way, shape, or form. I mean, FDU looked a lot better in the playing game. Am I wrong, Colby? Like, what happened who did FDU beat?
Who was it last year?
Well, they didn't beat anyone in their conference tournament.
I think they beat Corpus Christi.
You're right. Corpus Christi.
Now that I think about it, Purdue lost to a team that didn't even win their conference tournament. Give me Grambling. Plus 26 all day.
No, they beat Texas Southern.
Oh, even better.
It was Texas Southern.
I'm not taking Purdue under any circumstances.
For a real quick trivia question, Sean, how many players does Grambling have that are taller than 6'8"?
Oh Lord, this is the FDU stat
12
from last year.
1, and he doesn't play a ton.
But that's how Purdue's lost recently.
Yeah.
St.
Oh, yeah.
Peter's did this.
Oh, yeah.
They ran 4 guards.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Fairleigh Dickinson did this.
They got to be ready for it this year, right?
This year's different. There's no way they're going to be down 2 in the second half and get really tense. There's no way. And I got a lot of feedback on my use of the word butthole. So I don't know if I should use it more or less. It seems like the fans like when I describe buttholes being really tight. I thought that was a normal sports expression, Ryan.
We did get one of our few female listeners pointed out that they wanted to caution the audience that
don't lift a heavy object while listening to this part of the program.
At the 40-minute mark, you're going to hear butthole. Emphasis on the hole. All right, so you're taking the point, Sean. Colby's laying the points. What are you doing, Mac?
Oh, I'm all over Grambling.
Oh.
You remember Virginia the year after they lost to UMBC? They were down 15 to Gardner-Webb in the first half.
Yes.
Those fucking buttholes, as Sean would say, are going to be tight tomorrow. I think they're going to get out of there alive. But Grambling's coming in there and playing with house money. I'm not fucking laying this number with Purdue. Well, I mean, it's not just Fair Dick last year. It was St. Pete. It was North Texas.
Yeah.
It's all the little guys. So you got to prove it to me, Purdue. I will take the points gladly.
Oh, boy. I was going to just say lay the points. I'll lay the points. Come on. I looked at the height of this team. Zach Edey revenge tour starts now.
Cox.
No.
All right.
Noah, real quick, what do you got?
So the way these little teams beat Purdue is they let actually Zach Edey eat, and they make the guards make shots from the perimeter. And if they're not making their shots, that's when Purdue gets into trouble. The Grambling head coach, Colby, I don't know if you could save me or not. I'm drawing a blank on his name. In the post-game interview, he said, we're going to throw the house, we're going to throw the backyard, we're going to throw the whole community at Zach Edey. Basically, what they're going to intend to do is just hack away and hope for those neutral referees to call fouls. However, Grambling played 6 teams in the non-conference that are in the NCAA tournament. They lost by 12 at Drake. They lost by 18 at Washington State. They lost by 30 at Dayton. They lost by 32 at Colorado. They lost by 39 at Florida, and they lost by 55 at Iowa State. Give me Purdue.
Nice. I knew Noah was going to do that. Nice close job.
The nerve for him to bring up the officials when it comes to Purdue.
The
nerve.
Isn't that the reason you take Purdue? They got the 6th man and the 7th man and the 8th man.
They certainly do.
I will say, as a TMZ fan, that Zach Edey block where he just ran over that dude, that was one of the funniest college basketball. Because what I don't think caught enough steam on the internet. And by the way, I found that this ref has a fan account on X.
Yes,
but
Jeffrey Anderson.
Jeffrey Anderson, who's the high-stepping ref, was also officiating that game. And by the way, if you're not following, there is a fan account that just posts pictures of him doing high steps up the court.
Yes.
Fucking awesome.
High knees.
One of the things, though, I feel like, Noah, you didn't key in on was Painter has been so bad at adjustments. St. Peter's pressed that whole game, and he didn't. It's like he had never seen a press in his life. I was shocked he never called a timeout. It was, to me, just completely outcoached in all those games. Same with the North Texas game. Look, I'm on Purdue, but I'm terrified of the X's and O's and in-game adjustments.
They've dealt with the press the entire year. That's been the book out on Purdue all this year, and they've done just fine.
The Americans, they were sitting there, and we walked right into the trap. I knew I had a bad feeling about going against these Americans. I loved England. They were a massive favorite. Sure, I'm on England, but, man, they were hiding in the woods.
I don't think Grambling's as good as Fairleigh Dickinson or North Texas
or America.
Or America.
Or America.
Or U.S.
America's a big dog.
I saw that Colby was whispering to the Redcoats, it's 1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
Hey, have you guys signed up over at Game Time? Speaking of prime, Deion Sanders, one of the greatest running backs in Colorado Buffs history. You can see him live. You can see college basketball, college football right around the corner. You got the MLB.
Coming.
Maybe you're heading over to Seoul, Korea to watch Shohei Ohtani, or maybe you're going over there to collect some money from his interpreter. If you're his bookie, you can go to GameTime.co, use the promo code SGPN, get $20 off. Which again, if someone owes you $4.5 million, you might need to pinch some pennies. Promo code SGPN. Sign up. It's so easy to use, mobile friendly, very easy. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code SGPN. And champs, still time to set up your pool over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs. Get in over there, sign up. You get 2 free entries if you host your pool with champs for a chance to win $1,000. And their contest is actually Sweet 16 only. So if you sign up for it, wait for the Sweet 16 teams to be revealed, and then you can enter. But you can get 2 free entries. Again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/champs. Ryan, do we want to?
Yeah, bonus lock.
Okay, bonus lock. What do you got?
I mean, unless you're not into a bonus lock.
No,
you're not into a bonus lock. I like both Colorado spots.
Okay.
I'm not going to mess around with the 116 matchups. You know, it's not something I like to do. It's I'm not into that kind of stuff. But I think after watching the game tonight, I will say, or the game tonight compared to the game yesterday, it's hard for me to not want to just take Colorado State. I feel like I have a little bit more confidence with them. I think Colby's right about Colorado in terms of the upside all the way, like as from a bracket standpoint. But give me Colorado State. And Sean, I love them in a 6-point teaser, getting through all those key numbers.
No, do not tease any basketball.
The
special
TCE
college
chat's going to
basketball.
hate me now. They're like, I don't get it. What are you talking about?
Colorado State plus 2.5.
You know what I'm doing, Colby? Have you ever been salmon fishing? See what you do is
no.
It's typically if you've ever been tuna fishing, you troll, you got the lure behind the boat, you're driving fast, so the lure's
Look, when I get on a boat, I just get
surface.
fucked up.
Well, exactly. But with salmon fishing, what you do is they weight the lure and you drop the lure all the way to the bottom, and you troll around with this hook. And that's what I'm doing to your chat right now, hoping to hook a couple of these fools.
Well, Ryan, they might not realize you're joking around. They might not pick up. It's a CTE podcast. They might.
Serious?
Yes.
Too serious.
They might not understand.
Which, by the way, I recommend another follow. Antonio Brown. If you're not following,
CTESPN.
100% of his posts on X are related to head-related trauma or blowjobs. So he's got.
He gets it. He gets it.
It's all about head.
That is great content. Shout out to Bowser, hanging out with Bowser today. We did a last man, the Station Casino's last man standing contest where you pick ATS winners, Ryan. So we were playing a bunch of our locks from the Nevada made the card, and Bowser is hesitant, but
that's fine.
Feel good about Nevada.
I mean, I can see why I could see why Alfred would be something you wouldn't like. If you were a UCLA fan.
Yes.
So
I could see why.
Anyway, Colorado State, give me the Rams. And once again, check out Fort Collins. Beautiful town.
I'm with you. I love the Rams here. I'm going to go Colorado State money line, Ryan. I know you took the 2.5 points. I don't need it. Give me the Rams on the money line. Lock and a dog all rolled up into one. Colby, what do you got?
I mean, let's do a little Colorado two-step. Right?
Shout out to some of the fans over there.
And you know, Dick Olson in the house.
Allegedly. He did have a boxing glove. He also kept wanting us to play a scene from the movie The Campaign, which legally we're not allowed to do, but that did not stop him.
He's back for that.
And he was messing around with the boxing glove. So good times. Can't wait to hang out with that guy later.
I heard Sean, as quick aside, I heard Sean telling a story to someone. I think you were talking about Adderall, and you're like, yeah, it's mostly garbage. I don't know why they give it out to so many people. But I do know this one guy who actually needs it. And it's totally serious. Like, he definitely needs it. But no one else needs it. Shout out to Dick Olson.
Wait, are we doing a parlay too? I mean,
whatever you
we
want
can
to
do that Colorado two-step. Well, I'm gonna lock up Purdue minus the points, but do a Colorado parlay after that.
I'm in.
Let's go.
Put down a little parlay here. Mac, what do you got? What's a lock?
I'm going the Buffs. I like the Buffs matchup against Florida. I think they're more physical. And Todd Golden's never won an NCAA tournament game, so give me the more experienced coach, less pressure, and future Big 12 member. Welcome to the league, Colorado.
There we go.
Even then, he's laying groundwork.
Yeah.
No, I assume.
In fairness, they were in the Big 12
They were
already.
former
Yeah.
and future.
They're back.
Yes.
Noah, I assume you're locking up Florida.
Yes, Jackson from Sports Gambling Podcast live chat. I am old enough to drink. No, I'm taking Colorado State, the Rams.
Oh, wow. All right.
That's the
just
lock.
ram it.
You wore the T-shirt, Sean. He might be Benedicting already.
I mean, when you mentioned how Noah is a younger Colby, it's moments like these where he's wearing the Gators shirt, but he's locking up Colorado State.
It's like stages, right? You have Colby, then you have Noah, then you have White Tiger.
My clientele deserve winners.
I love that.
All right,
it's
Kramer.
a different clientele you'll be hanging out with later this week.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, our
Lakeisha.
big bracket reveal is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Of course, use the promo code SGPN, get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So fun getting down on the higher lower. College basketball, add a little spice to your life. Yeah, sure, you got your bets, you got your brackets, but why not a little college fantasy projections, aka higher lower? You can win up to 100x. Noah, I know you've been firing away. Is there any college basketball higher lowers you like that are coming up?
Yeah, shout out to TVDBJ in the chat. He just gave me a great angle that I wasn't even thinking of. Michigan State's front court is just embarrassingly bad, especially on the glass. Tolu Smith, the big man from Mississippi State, higher than 8.5 rebounds. That one seems too easy.
I like that, and Trevor's been in our chat before. I did not know he went by Trevor VDBJ. So shout out to him.
Oh, yeah.
No, but
One more, you want one,
well,
Colby?
Cannabis Capper's been doing a great job on this stuff.
Over
And-
at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, we got a bunch of underdog entry information picks.
Does he cap basketball too?
He does.
Okay.
He's been doing great work over there, and Yeah, I just realized it was for tonight's game.
I think
he had DM'd me who to play tonight.
I think he swept today's slate too.
Yeah, and we took KJ Simpson, OJ Simpson's son, and that cashed late with those free throws.
Yep.
The higher on KJ Simpson.
The 32-year-old senior. Well, just doing the math because Nicole Brown's his mom, and you do the math. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, you want to reveal your bracket first, or are you scared? Do you have like bracket stage fright?
No, but I am
You'll
prepared.
notice Ryan's holding two brackets because he had a fucking rough draft bracket that he was filling out at Saginaw's Deli.
No.
And it's written rough draft in big letters up top.
No. The rough draft was during the shows when we were doing the picks. So just for me to write down. This is the pretty final draft. You want me to go first? I'll go first.
Yes.
Starting in the East region, aka the Yukon region. I have UConn over Stetson. I have Northwestern over FAU. SDSU takes down UAB. Auburn over Yale. BYU over Duquesne. Morehead State, because who doesn't like Morehead, over Illinois. Drake over Washington State. Iowa State over South Dakota State. Iowa State's become a public fade candidate here. Next round, UConn advances over Northwestern. Auburn over San Diego State. RIP to our gals. BYU over Morehead State, which interesting dynamic there for the Soakers. Drake over Iowa State. Drake takes down BYU and heads to the Elite Eight to take on not UConn. Give me Auburn away from the jungle. They caused some havoc there. Auburn over Drake to win the East region and enter the Final Four. Going down to the South or the West.
Sold you a Buick.
Well, we'll see. I think Bruce Pearl's Buick times are coming up. This is his year. He's on the contender list. It's one of the three teams that can take UConn down. UNC over Wagner in the West region. Then we got Hail State over Michigan State to kick off the tournament tomorrow morning. Grand Canyon takes down St. Mary's. Bama takes down College of Charleston. New Mexico upsets Clemson, although it's not really an upset, guys, because they're favored. Baylor over Colgate. Nevada over Dayton. And Arizona over Long Beach State, who apparently cut the medical benefits to their coach because he's been fired. Seems like a pretty fucked up situation. UNC advances over Mississippi State, a.k.a. Hail State. Grand Canyon over Bama. A little spiciness there. New Mexico over Baylor. Shout out to the Lobos making the Sweet 16. That's plus 250 if I'm not mistaken. Arizona over Nevada, and then we got UNC over Grand Canyon. Arizona over New Mexico, so we have the Caleb Love rematch. Arizona, UNC, it's being played in Los Angeles. That feels disrespectful to the one seed here. Arizona gets the upset over North Carolina, Final Four. And by the way, the Final Four is being played in Arizona, guys. All right, let's move over to the South. Houston over Longwood, Texas A&M over Nebraska, Wisconsin over JMU, Duke over Vermont, Texas Tech over NC State, although I do hope that men's basketball, Lizzo has a great performance. Kentucky loses to Oakland. Florida goes down to Colorado, and Western Kentucky takes down Shaka Smart and Marquette. Houston over Texas A&M. Wisconsin goes down to Duke. Texas Tech takes down Oakland. Colorado takes down Western Kentucky. Houston over Duke into the Elite Eight. And I'm going to make a late swap here. Colorado over Texas Tech into the Elite Eight. And Houston takes them down to win the South region and go to the Final Four. I do think this is Samson's year.
Let me talk to Samson.
I do want to talk to Samson.
Why even have a rough draft if you're gonna
What am I doing? What's wrong?
No, you had a rough draft, and then you're still correcting your final draft.
Because this is the one thing, as the late developing stuff happened, I realized I like Colorado. Colby sold me on the upside of the roster. Go fuck yourself. Midwest.
How dare you, Ryan? How dare you?
Purdue over Grambling in a complete blowout. Utah State over TCU. Gonzaga over McNeese. And Will Wade gets a strong-ass offer from Louisville. Kansas over Samford. Oregon over South Carolina. Akron takes down Creighton, a.k.a. Creighton. Colorado State takes down Horns down, and Tennessee gets it done over St. Peter's. Purdue over Utah State. Gonzaga over Kansas. Oregon over Akron, and Tennessee over Colorado State. Oregon takes down Tennessee in the Sweet 16 to get to the Elite Eight. Purdue goes down to the Zags, where the Zags will defeat Oregon and advance to the Final Four. My Final Four: Auburn, Arizona, Houston, Gonzaga. Arizona takes down Auburn. Houston takes down Gonzaga. Houston, national championship. Let's go.
I like it.
And for those who are wondering, everyone on the desk, I'm not going to speak for you, Noah. Everyone on the desk is a grown man and will be filling out one bracket only.
Yes.
Yes.
If I have to hear one more person tell me about their fourth bracket,
Well, in that one, in that scenario,
I am a firm believer in 9 brackets and 7 different pools.
you got so much. Young people have so much energy.
All right, here we go. Here's my bracket. In the East, I got UConn winning. I got Northwestern winning. I got San Diego State winning. I got Auburn winning. I got BYU moving on. I got Morehead State beating Illinois outright. Drake takes down the Cougs. Iowa State takes down the Jackrabbits. Iowa State beats Drake. BYU beats Morehead State. Auburn takes down our gals. UConn takes down Northwestern. But Auburn takes down UConn. BYU beats Iowa State. Auburn beats BYU, and Auburn wins the East. Next up, we got the West.
You got a Buick too? What the hell is going on here?
Smash!
UNC takes down Wagner, although it's close. Michigan State wins against Mississippi State, obviously. Grand Canyon beats St. Mary's. Charleston upsets Alabama. New Mexico beats Clemson. Baylor beats Colgate. Nevada beats Dayton. And Arizona beats Long Beach State barely. Nevada upsets Arizona. And Baylor beats New Mexico. Grand Canyon takes down Charleston. Michigan State shocks the world, beats UNC. Grand Canyon beats Michigan State. Baylor beats Nevada. Baylor wins the West.
Whoa, that's spicy.
What's spicy about that?
What's spicy about
Baylor's
that?
a 3 seed.
Tom Izzo to the Sweet 16.
Both
spicy.
Kramer
Oh, come
and
on.
Sean taking Grand Canyon. My sister had Grand Canyon in the Final Four. Only 4 upsets via
She's
seeds,
shocked.
What did Bruce Pearl do? Who got the Cutlass Supreme?
Smash!
You've seen my ex profile. I got a hell of a cut.
In the South, I got Houston beating Longwood, Nebraska beating Texas A&M, JMU beating Wisconsin, Duke beating Vermont, Texas Tech beating NC State, Oaktown shocking the world and beating Kentucky, Colorado beating Florida, Western Kentucky beating Marquette, upset City, and then I have Western Kentucky losing to Colorado. Colorado moves on to the Sweet 16. Texas Tech beats Oakland, Duke beats JMU. Houston beats Nebraska. Houston beats Duke. Texas Tech beats Colorado. And Houston wins the South. Moving on to the Midwest. We got Purdue winning, barely. Utah State winning. Gonzaga beating McNeese. Kansas moves on past Samford, although they do not cover the spread. South Carolina beats Oregon. Creighton beats Akron. Texas loses to Colorado State. Tennessee beats St. Peter's, but Colorado State and the Rams upset Rick Barnes. USC, a.k.a. South Carolina, beats Creighton. Gonzaga beats Kansas. Utah State beats Purdue. Gonzaga beats Utah State. And South Carolina makes it to the Elite Eight, where they lose to Gonzaga. Gonzaga wins the Midwest. Gonzaga and Houston square off. Gonzaga makes it to the national championship. Auburn and Baylor square off. Auburn makes it to the national championship because Auburn is your national champion.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Can you imagine Bruce Pearl in a world where he...
I told both
That
Cameron,
car is fully loaded. all
both
right?
Cameron and Mace liked my Auburn prediction.
That's true. That's true. They did.
Smash!
Colby, let it rip.
All right. UConn beats Stetson.
Oh, nice.
All right. Florida Atlantic takes down Northwestern. UAB pulls the upset on San Diego State. Auburn beats Yale. BYU ekes it out against Duquesne. The Illini get it done against Morehead State. Drake upsets the Cougs of Washington State. Iowa State handles South Dakota State. After that, UConn does take down FAU in a close one. Auburn handles Alabama, Birmingham, UAB. BYU beats Illinois. Iowa State handles Drake. And then after that, Iowa State beats BYU. UConn beats Auburn, and I have Iowa State beating UConn to go to the Final Four. In the West, Carolina beats Wagner. Michigan State beats Mississippi State. Grand Canyon gets the upset on St. Mary's. Bama beats Charleston. New Mexico takes down Clemson. Baylor takes down Colgate. Nevada beats Dayton. Arizona beats Nevada. North Carolina then beats Michigan State. Alabama beats Grand Canyon. Baylor does beat New Mexico. Nevada upsets Arizona. Nevada then beats Baylor. And then North Carolina beats Alabama. And then Nevada knocks off North Carolina. And Steve Alford and the Wolfpack are in the Final Four.
Holy shit.
In the South, Houston takes down Longwood. Texas A&M beats Nebraska. James Madison does take out Wisconsin. Duke rolls Vermont. Texas Tech beats the Pussy Pack. Kentucky handles Oakland. Colorado upsets Florida. Marquette gets past Western Kentucky in a close one. Houston beats A&M. Duke beats JMU. Kentucky beats Texas Tech. Colorado upsets Marquette. Then Houston beats Duke. Colorado upsets Kentucky.
Nice.
Then Houston beats Colorado to go to the Final Four in the South. In the Midwest, Purdue gets past Grambling. TCU beats Utah State. Gonzaga knocks off McNeese. Kansas handles Samford. South Carolina gets past Oregon. Creighton beats Akron. Colorado State upsets Texas. Tennessee beats St. Peter's. I then have TCU beating Purdue.
There
Yes.
it is.
I have Gonzaga beating Kansas. I have Creighton beating South Carolina. I have Tennessee beating Colorado State. Then I have Tennessee beating Creighton. And I have Gonzaga beating TCU. And I have Gonzaga beating Tennessee and going to the Final Four.
Three Zags.
In the Final Four, I have Iowa State taking down Nevada and Iowa State moving along to the national championship. And I have Houston beating Gonzaga. And in the national championship, I have the Houston Cougars beating Iowa State.
You
12
literally, you're proving a point here. You love court storming so much you wanted to make sure their weather pattern made it to the national championship. You like that?
I do like
Yeah,
that.
I like
do
that.
like that. Let's go.
That's a Big 12 tournament
It-
final
real-
You're
rematch.
subscribed to the Big 12
Couple things.
Subscribe to the Big 12 experience. Let's go.
Quote graphic: Colby Dant chooses Wolfpack to make Final Four. Can we work on that? Different Wolfpack. I know.
I thought it was very bold of me to go out on a limb. Steve Alford's lost me millions of dollars, I think, in my life. But I'm buying in to the right pussy pack. All right?
All right.
And that is Nevada.
I like it. Well, although some would say Steve Alford is a pussy. Mainly Bowser. All right, Mac, you're up.
Not a Steve Alford fan.
All right, let's run through the East region. I got UConn over Stetson, Northwestern Boo Booey over FAU, Andy Kennedy and UAB over San Diego State. Auburn continues their momentum. They get it done over Yale. BYU, the Cougs, get it done. Moorhead outright on the money line against Illinois tomorrow. Wazoo gets it done over Drake, the Cougs. And Iowa State rolls South Dakota State. Here's a stunner. Northwestern is going to dethrone the UConn Huskies in Brooklyn.
Dan Hurley going to the car wash.
Yep.
Yeah, Dan Hurley's never had a flying squirrel.
Here we go. Just like Wisconsin did against Villanova back in the day, coming off their championship. Auburn to the Sweet 16. The BYU Cougars are going to Sweet 16, and they'll meet Iowa State over Wazoo. It ends here for Northwestern. Auburn will get to the Elite Eight over Northwestern. And Iowa State in a Big 12 semifinal will get it done over BYU. And Iowa State, the Cyclones, are going to the Final Four in the East region.
Hey, you copy me?
Down to the West. Yes, absolutely. To the West, Carolina is going to get it done. I got Sparty in the early game tomorrow over Mississippi State. I got the Gales. I know everybody likes Grand Canyon, but give me the Gales. St. Mary's get it done. Roll Tide roll over Charleston. New Mexico, the Lobos over Clemson. Fuck the ACC. Baylor over Colgate. And Dayton is going to bust Colby's bracket right open right off the bat. Steve Alford's going home in the first round. Arizona Wildcats get it done over Long Beach.
I wouldn't be that shocked because it's Steve Alford. It's Steve Alford. No. You asked me last time why I shaved. It's because fucking Steve Alford. I'm still taking Nevada to the Final Four, and they might win a national championship. Let's go.
You
I might
realize
move to Reno.
this whole thing is just a ploy, because when they lose, it's just going to be really, 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 really good content.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's so funny.
Carolina over Sparty. As much as I want to take Sparty, I'll take Carolina. Roll Tide roll to the Sweet 16. I think everybody's sleeping on them a little bit. Baylor over the Lobos, Sweet 16. Arizona's going to roll here over Dayton, Fool's Gold. And everybody's going to talk about a Carolina-Arizona matchup. Give me the Tide to shock the North Carolina Tar Heels, get to the Elite Eight the year after the year. Arizona Wildcats, Caleb Love, and they're going to blow out Alabama in the Elite Eight. Arizona Wildcats out of the West. Over to the South, give me the Houston Cougars. They're going to win by 1,000 against Longwood. A&M will grind it out over Nebraska, SEC over Big Ten. Wisconsin, Public Dog over JMU. Vermont over Duke. Woo! Flopkowski, you're going home early, buddy. Texas Tech over the Pussy Pack. That's easy. Oakland Shocks. This is we're fading all the blue bloods here in the South. Kentucky's going down. Duke's going down. Oakland over Kentucky. Colorado over Florida. Western Kentucky Shocks. Marquette in the first game back.
Let's get another one of these.
Let's go. Houston over Texas A&M. That's a rematch from earlier in the year. Wisconsin, everybody's bored by them. The Staples go to the Sweet 16. Texas Tech, Sweet 16. Colorado, future Big 12 member, Sweet 16 as well. So what do we got? We got 3 members here. Houston over Wisconsin. Texas Tech, Colorado, future Big 12 matchup. Give me the Red Raiders. They'll get it done. In Dallas, we'll have a Big 12 regional final. We'll take the Cougars over the Red Raiders. So the Cougars are headed to the Final Four with Kelvin Sampson. Purdue, Zach Edey, they all-out effort, Super Bowl against Grambling to get that done. TCU gets it done over Utah State. The Zags, I like it as well. Kansas, they're going to fuck Sanford up. Oregon gets it done over South Carolina. Akron, the Zips, shock created tomorrow, early game. Colorado State gets it done over Texas. Horns down. Enjoy the SEC.
Horns down.
You pussies. Tennessee gets it done over St. Pete's. And we're going to have another stunner. We're going to have 2 1 seeds out in the round of 32.
What?
Everybody's talking UConn, Purdue. Nope. TCU, Jamie Dixon, get it done. Shock the world. Another Big 12 team in the Sweet 16. Gonzaga, they're going to send Kansas home. So the Big 12 doesn't get it done there. But anyway, Oregon over Akron. Another Dana Altman Sweet 16. That's all that guy does in March. Tennessee over Colorado State. We got Gonzaga over TCU here in the Elite Eight. And then we got Tennessee meeting up with Gonzaga. They're going to beat Oregon. And I got Rick Barnes going to the Final Four. Nobody wants to pick Rick Barnes. Everybody wants to fade Rick Barnes. Give me Rick Barnes. So I got Iowa State, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee. Arizona, as much as I hate it, will beat Iowa State in Phoenix. Houston over Tennessee. We got the newcomer in the Big 12 versus the newest member in the Big 12. It's just Big 12 everywhere. Give me the Arizona Wildcats to get it done in Phoenix. Tommy Lloyd, year number 3. They win the national championship. Bear down.
Wow. Can I talk about the chat? Bill Russo thinks we're out of our mind for the Gonzaga thing. Look, I understand McNeese, the angle there, but Will Wade, I believe, would be interviewing for other jobs right now. I don't believe he's
getting the job at
that
Louisville.
classy to be like, no, we're going to wait until after the year. And then the McCullough injury for Kansas, right? And then I think TCU matches up with Purdue amazing. I think there's a great chance Gonzaga's first games are against, McNeese, Kansas depleted, and then TCU, who I think they could beat. They beat them a year ago, right? It's all about the bracket. It's not like I'm just like, hey, Gonzaga is amazing. It's the bracket. That side of the bracket sets up nice. Both sides, really the right side of the bracket, I feel like is where you want to be on this thing. So I hope that makes some sense.
I'm sure he has the answer, Key. Someone from your chat, probably. So they're very deep in the ocean.
CTE.
Maybe they're getting some sort of weird, that weird air poisoning when you come up to the surface too quick and you start puking up pink.
Oh, yeah.
It could be happening to this guy.
I think that might happen to Noah last night after too many drinks. All right?
Yeah, it's 2 in the... Okay, anyway.
Who's your Devo says Tominaga is taking the Huskers to the Final Four. Look out.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That would be amazing.
That would be
Who
great.
does Ohtani have? That's what I need to know.
Fade
Nebraska.
Ohtani.
He's all in on insanity.
Yeah. What's up? All right, are we done?
Well, Noah,
Oh.
Noah, you're on a shot clock. Let's go. Rattle off your bracket. What do you got?
So that means no futures with all of these, correct?
Yeah, we'll do the futures after.
Real quick, I don't. Real quick, like moving on.
This
to the
is
bracket,
counting towards your time.
outside of the first round, I do not pick the winners based on matchups. I just go on game theory.
Let's hear it.
And you're going.
UConn over Stetson, Northwestern over FAU. Yes, I benedicted from my ATS pick, but again, game theory. San Diego State, Auburn.
Is that a band?
Duquesne over BYU. Yes, the Dukes win that thing on the money line. Morehead State also wins on the money line. Washington State, Iowa State. Then we go UConn over Northwestern, Auburn over San Diego State. Duquesne, 11-1 in the Sweet 16 over Morehead State. Iowa State over Washington State. UConn over Auburn to get to the Elite Eight. Iowa State over Duquesne to get to the Elite Eight. That's plus 160. UConn over Iowa State in the Final Four. North Carolina wins the 16-seed game. They will face Mississippi State in the West region. St. Mary's over Grand Canyon. I'm not getting cute there, but I'm getting cute here with Charleston over Alabama. New Mexico, they play Baylor, and then Nevada wins, Arizona wins. Then we go North Carolina over Mississippi State. I just think it's really hard for them to lose in Charlotte. St. Mary's, plus 180 to get to the Sweet 16. They win against Charleston, or I have them over Bama, too. I like that. New Mexico, plus 250 to get to the Sweet 16. Arizona, Sweet 16. St. Mary's beats North Carolina in L.A. I like that a lot. Arizona over New Mexico. Arizona beats St. Mary's to get to the Final Four. Then we go to the South region. Houston wins. Nebraska beats Texas A&M. James Madison over Wisconsin. Duke over Vermont. Texas Tech over NC State. Kentucky, this one hurt, but I'm taking them over Oakland. Florida plays Marquette there. I have Florida beating Marquette. Texas Tech beating Kentucky. I really like that match if that comes true. Duke minus 110 to get to the Sweet 16. Nebraska knocks off Houston in the second round. Plus 600 to get to the Sweet 16. Woo! Duke over Nebraska. If they play Houston.
There's that Big Ten love.
If Duke plays Houston, they are going to get their shit rocked. And then Florida over Texas Tech. I like both Florida and Texas Tech here. Sprinkle both on the Final Four here. Florida 18-1, Texas Tech 22-1. I think both of them could beat Duke and have a shot against Houston.
No futures in this portion.
Against the Midwest, Purdue, and then they'll play TCU, McNeese State, Samford. I'm going chalk with the two upsets there in that quadrant. Everybody's taking them, but I love them. Oregon over South Carolina, Creighton over Akron, Colorado State over Tennessee. Because I have Colorado State plus 600 to get to the Sweet 16. They'll play Oregon plus 550 to the Sweet 16. McNeese beats Stanford plus 650. Purdue beats TCU. Purdue beats McNeese, although I'd be very, very scared if that matchup does come true. I like Oregon State and Colorado State, 19-1, 20-1, respectively, to get to the Elite Eight. Purdue plus 175 gets to the Final Four. My Final Four is UConn against Arizona and Florida against Purdue. I have a UConn-Purdue final and the Boilermakers. All aboard!
Oh, God.
They're national champions in 2020.
Sprinkling this Big Ten bullshit. He gets us Nebraska that far.
Time out.
Yeah.
I mean, holy
he's
shit,
got
he's going to
Florida
rip
in the
on
Final
me?
Four, but he won't lock them as a 1-point favorite in the fucking round of 64.
That's a great point.
He's going to rip on me for the Big Ten, and he's got an all Big 12 shit. Get out of here.
No, Florida. Why did you lock Florida against Colorado?
Because I really like Colorado State more than Florida. I like Florida, too. But
When's
Colorado
the last time
State's
the Big
gonna
Ten
beat the
won a
shit out of
national
Texas.
championship, and were you alive?
2000 against Michigan State.
How old were you
Michigan
then?
State. I was not born yet.
Oh, man.
But I wouldn't want to be born for a Spartan national championship.
Woo,
So.
I like it.
God damn,
I like
I'm
it.
old.
I just realized Noah was born after 9/11. We have to stop the show.
No, that's not true. I was born in July, 9/11 September.
Wow, coincidence?
I was.
Where were you on
Were you on the
September
13th
11th?
floor?
Are you sure you weren't in contact with any Al Qaeda? No.
I was. I had already experienced my freshman year in college by the time Noah graced the earth with his presence.
Oh, man. I've had so many fake IDs before Noah's even born. All right, putting things in perspective. Hey, have you guys signed up with Hall of Fame bets? What are you waiting for? Optimize those parlays. March Madness is time for some parlays. Head over to HOFBets.com. Use the promo code SGPN. They got you covered. Parlay Optimizer, deep dives on stats. The NFL, once the NFL
I didn't know you guys deep dive.
Oh, we go deep, Colby. We go deep. Deep. deep.
I don't know if you remember, I did predict that Kyle Juszczyk would have the first catch in the Super Bowl, and I did sign a winning bet ticket. Shout out to Dean for the victory, commemorating the victory. So I will forever be.
If you want to meet up with Ryan in person, it'll be under a minute before he mentions that. I've heard him mention it to 3 or 4 different listeners.
The stewardess on the airplane. I feel like I'll take a Jack and Coke. And let me tell you about this story.
Colby, you don't call him stewardess anymore, please.
Yeah,
it's 2024. Jesus
Steward
Christ.
people.
Whatever.
HOFBets.com, promo code SGPN. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app. Bet smarter, not harder. Kramer, what are your 3 favorite futures for March Madness?
Hey, you. They, you. All right, so Gonzaga to make the Sweet 16. I picked this up earlier today at Circa, plus 125.
Ooh.
They've made the Sweet 16 in 8 straight tournaments. That feels very strong. The second angle I'm going to go with, and I was pulling up the price because the tickets are in the other room, so I don't know. But I have Oregon making the Sweet 16 as well. Dana Altman has never lost the first round game in the tournament at Oregon, so I like the idea of getting them one more round at the. If someone could help me with the price, I don't know why. Plus 550 to make the Sweet 16. And I think the other one I want to take, and this one is a little less chalky, but it's plus 250 New Mexico to make the Sweet 16. It's just been calling to me. It's been calling to me all week. I love this Lobos team. Yeah, so those are the 3 I got.
Colby, what do you like future-wise?
Well, the first one I like is the Mountain West over 4.5 wins.
Well, that's all. Oh,
that's fun.
That number is now.
Son of a.
No.
You got these papers.
It's updated. It's up. I can give you the updated number because we have had a team win and lose.
Colby, as a deep diver, let me explain to you that Colorado State is in the Mountain West, and that win counted towards that bet.
So, but
can you hold this?
The number has reopened to 4.5. The number has reopened.
All right, you know what? Throw that away. I got stuff for you. All right.
I go, Colby. We're going to talk some futures tonight.
I got futures. I was born in the future. All right.
The best.
Let me tell
real
you
quick,
something.
Colby. When Colby tells you what position he has, he'll tell you it's his future. It's really one of my favorite things he does. He goes, "That's my future."
That's right. Look, here's the play. Nevada to win the West region plus 4,000. Get in on it now, folks. Reno is going to be rocking. All right? So get ready.
Scott Bowser is in the chat, typing in all caps, telling people to not listen to you about
He's
Nevada.
drunk. I saw him have this is the first time someone's offered me This is the first time someone's offered me a rusty nail since my grandfather died. He's like, "Oh, Kobe, you want me to get you a rusty nail at the bar?" And I go, "No one's ordered a rusty nail since 1971." But yes, I think Nevada plus 4,000 is just a genius play, if I may say so myself, Sean. I also like Gonzaga to win the Midwest plus 680. I'm just making you cash left and right. And then a little chalkier, but Iowa State plus 375 to win the other region there, the East region. And
I like that Gonzaga price. Real quick, I feel like I don't know if we've ever told this story, but I'll do the quick version. For those who are familiar with Colby, he's not allowed to go back to the Rose Bowl. And that story involves Bowser's talking about Alford, so I figured I'd bring it up. It also involves Will Wade, so if you want to be double careful. But essentially, Colby is shouting at anyone who will listen, I want to know, I want to know.
Just trying to be a sports fan.
So much so that the UCLA fans, the LSU fans, and just the regular LA people in the audience were all cheering when Colby got taken out.
But yes, they might have been cheering, which once again shows how pussy they were. But I did shotgun beers with the guy who got out of jail in the parking lot. He had a great tailgate set up. He had gotten out of jail. I found like a big selection. There was probably like 10 Mexican guys hanging out watching the UCLA game on a golf course, and we did get really fucked up, and it was great. You don't include that, do you?
Well, first of all, you park on a golf course.
They accepted me for who I am.
Well, it's funny. We come out, and Colby's like, I didn't want to go in there anyway. I had more fun hanging out here.
You're goddamn right I did.
Anyway, I say all of this to say this could be the second time that I see Bowser and Colby's friendship at odds, because this pro Steve Alford stuff is really pissing Bowser off, just like you pissed him off when you made.
Bowser did have to tell him to shut the fuck up a couple times.
You made the UCLA win about you and not UCLA. You
Bowser's
prick.
just like, let me enjoy this win,
Okay,
you pussy.
but I'll be honest. I was the one that said take UCLA money line, and that fucking thing hit. I told you when the SEC goes to the West, they lose almost every time.
I wish we had video of Colby getting walked out.
Well, it was the only thing both fan bases agreed on was that Colby had to leave. Like LSU and UCLA fans were clapping.
No, LSU fans, and I've partied in Baton Rouge. So don't get on your fucking high horse. The only reason why they wanted me out was because I was anti-LSU. LSU fans, if you think I was drunk, you need to go to Baton Rouge. Because Baton Rouge, I look sober. Compared to in Baton Rouge, I was sober.
In Louisiana, he would have been the designated driver.
Yes. So they were just happy because I was talking shit to them.
I wish we had a movie for you to watch yourself in the performance.
Well, dude, I wish
Performance of a
UCLA fans.
lifetime.
I understand why UCLA doesn't have they're the most empty stadium in all of college football because they kick out any passionate fan
there
for
were
their
a lot of
football
people
team.
there. There were a lot of
All
people.
right, we got a charcuterie board we got to get to. My three favorite.
Can you say that one more time?
Charcuterie.
That
Actually is a sobriety checkpoint test. You just have to say charcuterie.
Because you get if you're really fucked up.
Can we see if we can get Ed Orgeron to say that?
We tag us.
Yeah, we tag us.
Charcuterie.
Michigan State to make the Sweet 16 plus 350. Don't doubt my boy Tom Izzo. BYU to make the Elite 8 at 5-1, and the South Carolina Gamecocks also make the Elite 8 13-1. Mac, how say you? What are some futures you like?
Well, I like this Arizona 12-1 to win it all. When all they have to do is go through Salt Lake, LA, and then Phoenix. I mean, everybody's talking about UConn's home base, and then let's get a couple that are just hit by Sunday night. Everybody wants quick cash. TCU to make the Sweet 16 5-1, and Texas Tech 2-1. Let's go.
There you go. A little Big 12.
Oh, Big 12, baby. Let's go.
When does Gonzaga join the Big 12? It feels like that.
Hey, come on in. Come on in. Let's go.
I heard my Hokies might be knocking.
Noah, you already gave out some of your futures during the bracket reveal segment, which I instructed you not to do.
3 minutes it took. Noah got it in under 3 minutes, so that was impressive.
Well, that's how Noah always gets it in under 3 minutes.
Not always.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's what she said.
No, she works by the hour, so come on. You got it. The quicker it gets done. All joking aside, three favorite futures, rapid fire. What do you got, Noah?
Yeah, so they're all in my all the futures that I'm on are on the bracket that I posted on my Twitter account. I'm going to give you the three that have the best value out there. Texas Tech to make the Final Four. Yes, I had Florida to make the Final Four. However, 22-1 for the Red Raiders over on. Am I allowed to say the book real quick?
Sure.
Over on MGM, BetMGM.
Please bleep that.
There are 14-1s out in the wild. You can get 22-1 on the Red Raiders to get the Final Four on MGM. Then the second one is Colorado State at 20-1 to get to the Elite 8. This is also at BetMGM, and there are 14-1s. There are 14-1s out there in the wild. And the last one, this one has to be, online sportsbook.
Oh, now we're talking. There we go. A little crypto bet. I like that.
Bet Rivers 19-1. It's Oregon Ducks to get to the Elite 8. 12-1s are out in the wild. Three most valuable futures.
I
Right
like
there.
that.
I like how Washington State and Oregon State make money every time a Pac-12 team wins. So Colorado winning today, they cashed in.
Shout out to them.
Arizona
As
wins
they
it all.
should.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, what do we got? Some more?
Hey,
what's up,
there
man?
we go. Yes.
Ryan, we got to hit the table. We got to hit the slot machine. We got to make sure all our bets are in.
How's the slot?
Definitely not going to hit the pillow.
No.
Definitely not.
Pillow is the last thing we got to hit. Again,
Only got to be up at less than 9 hours to go to the Westgate and just be debaucherous for 12 hours.
Although Kramer was asleep this afternoon, and it was interesting. I'd never seen someone sleep with the pillow on top of their face.
He was trying
just
to
waiting for
suffocate
someone
like
to clamp it down on him.
waterboarding himself with a palazzo pillow, Ryan. I don't know, maybe beating yourself up.
I mean, it does feel a lot better if you constrict the air a little bit.
Well, and one last note. So we were having the conversation in the room. We were talking, hey, if we had to jump out of this window, what would be the best way? Because there was some guy watching the window, and we're trying to run the numbers as to our survival rate if we jumped on his window washing rope and rappelled down.
Yeah.
Obviously very slim, but we're trying to do the math best way. And then we just carried on the conversation. This nice lady gets in the in the elevator. We're like still talking about best way to break out of the hotel room, and we're on the 43rd floor.
I like that idea that Kramer had.
Colby goes, well, you never know. I mean, 9/11, you're up on these tall buildings, and you
I
can
like
tell
to be realistic. This
ladies-
is like the Rose Bowl all over again, right?
The lady's just so uncomfortable. She's like, yeah, I guess you kind of like the ground floor in those situations. Like, and just door open.
That lady
Immediately get out of here.
We're on a list. It's okay, but my
Colby, you
favorite.
scared her.
My favorite is Kramer saying, "Look, if you grab the mattress and throw it out the window with you,
You hang
got a
on to the
shot of
mattress.
making it."
That's an
Listen,
amazing
you
visual.
want to create as much drag as possible. And then at the end, you're going to pop up. You're going to try to surf on it a little bit. Maybe we'll build in some straps. And then the last minute, you want to jump,
Hey, I like
reducing
this.
your turn,
Look,
the velocity.
I thought it was ridiculous when you first started, but then I thought if you have someone tie you to the mattress, it made a little
You
bit
don't
of
have
sense.
that kind of
It made
time.
a little bit of sense.
You don't have a spotter.
This is welcome.
So how do you decide who gets to be tied to the mattress and
You
who has
still
to be
got
the
to aim
second
for the
person?
pool, though. You still got to aim for the pool.
Wait, this is my prison on a daily basis. Which, by the way, the latest thing that the flat earthers are saying, if the Earth was spinning, why aren't all asteroids long lines? Why are they all nice little circle plots? Anyway, we can end on that.
Shout out to Hoosier Devo saying 2 9/11 references in one March Madness stream. I 100% would have taken the under. Well, that's why you got to pound the overs in March Madness. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in again.
First half unders though.
Yes. Perfect timing there, Noah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the show. Make sure you that subscribe button.
And come out tomorrow.
Yes, come out. If you're in town Thursday and Friday, a.k.a. today, depending on when you're listening, we will be hanging out at the Westgate all day, watching games. Come say hi. Tickets very reasonable. One of the best spots to watch games in that Hoops ballroom. You can just follow the signs for Barry Manilow or Hoops Central. Can't miss it.
Manilow's been here for years. He's
Oh
killing
yeah,
it.
it's the original theater where Elvis played. Pretty cool historic theater to just hang out, sweat out some bets.
Wait, it's where he died too, right?
I think he died. Didn't he? He died on the toilet.
That's what I'm saying. So every time you take a shit, you can think about that.
All right, there you go. The king of pop.
I'm gonna go hang with Elvis for a little bit, guys.
Oh, that's a great. I'm gonna start using that whenever we're in Vegas. I'm gonna hang with the. Anytime I gotta go to the bathroom, I'm gonna hang with the spirit of Elvis.
Imagine if the
Thank you
ghost.
for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
That's a horror movie. The ghost of Elvis just pops out of a toilet.
That's a great horror flick. I like that.
All right,
idea.
we're gonna work on that script. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, late night again after all the games. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, Stacking the Money Green. He's Ryan.
Remember to use protection.
Kramer. Let it ride.
Dong.